Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast, where Nicole and Ashley discuss Black film, music, and television. Today, we are having a conversation about dating rules, dating advice, 90-day rules, dating books, dating advice books that turn into movies like Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man. This was Ashley's first time watching this movie, and let's just say she was not that impressed. So let's see how this conversation goes. Think Like a Man came out in 2012. It was based on the Steve Harvey book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Garbage cannery. Let me not say that. I've never read the book. Have you read it?
No, I never read the book.
Okay.
So,
I've never read it. I am willing to put $1 billion that I would hate it.
We have to admit this book was a bestseller in 2012. Like Steve Harvey, he got 2 movies out this book. So somebody liked it.
The way you feel about Tyler Perry film is the way I feel about Steve Harvey and the people who created this mania around this book.
Okay, so this is your first time watching this movie. I saw it back in 2012. And I thought this would be an interesting conversation because in 2012, we were in our 20s. And so now we're in our 30s. I'm assuming our ideas of dating, our experiences have grown.
I thought there are so many great actors in here. Jennifer Lewis is in this movie.
Everybody Black is in this movie.
Jennifer fucking Lewis is in this movie. And I'll leave it at that. It's like,
you have Taraji, you have Regina Hall.
Absolutely. That's my point. That is my point. And even the new folks, I thought Terrence J did a wonderful job. Everyone is like solid, more than solid. It's a date movie. A date movie. I just wanted more. From it. Like Clueless. That's a cute little date movie. Whatever. Who cares? Like, whatever. I can go back and watch Clueless and have a wonderful time. I can't. I'm never. It was a chore watching this movie.
Oh my gosh!
But I adore everyone in it, and I'm sure the people who wrote it are great, and I'm sure the man who directed it is wonderful.
This is a Will Packer film. I think he produced it. Tim Story, I think, is the director. I did like that. Like some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people thought, it was foolishness. So I do like the different perspectives. You're like, no. Since this movie is 10 years old, do you feel like this concept is super dated or is it still relevant? Is the concept of dating advice and getting a book and having rules and regulations, is that necessary? Is it kind of dated? Is that kind of foolish?
I think I haven't seen anyone who gives dating advice right now who hasn't like gone to social media slammer. Like that Jackson guy who would always be filming in his car because I feel like he was giving dating advice. I feel like Kevin Samuels gives dating advice.
Okay, go back to Derek Jackson. Women was in with him until they found out he was cheating on his wife. But aside from that, he had a good following.
That's why I feel like now it isn't.
And he did write some books.
Sure, he did. Probably while he was in the front seat of his car. Other than Kevin Samuels, I don't know anyone who is super. And please believe I'm not like I disagree with mainly like probably 100% of him, everything that he says. And like these men who have these podcasts, I feel like they give the dating advice to men and women who want to be chosen by men like that. I don't think it's dated. I just think that maybe I have not seen anyone who I would take advice from.
Is the problem a man telling a woman how she needs to act?
I think that problem? Even in 2012, the conversations that we were having around gender were a lot more nuanced than men don't, you can't talk to a man about how much money you make. You can't, you have not given him a deadline. You didn't wait 90 days to have sex. I feel like the conversations that we were having about like gender performance and masculinity and femininity and toxic, both of those, I feel like it was way more advanced than the strict rules that he was trying to set up. But so it's not necessarily a man giving a woman advice. I mean, I do have an issue with that. It's something about it just always rubs me the wrong way. It was also like not the silliness, because I think that there are people who really live like that, who really like can look at Steve Harvey's book and say, I am the man that he is talking about. But where I sit in the world, me and Steve Harvey might have two different definitions of what a woman is and two different definitions of what a man is. So
I agree. I never read the book. I have no desire to read it, not back then or now. I have no desire to take dating advice from any man telling a woman how she needs to act.
I mean, I'm wondering also if Steve Harvey position the book towards women because that's his core audience. Who watches Steve Harvey?
No, he said it. I remember an interview years ago, probably when this came out. It was for his older daughters. He has a lot of daughters. He has a lot of kids, but a lot of daughters. And he wanted to write a book for his daughters about like what they need to look for in dating, like a dad's guide to
I
dating.
Do not believe that.
That's what
I do not think that is total bullshit, because I think that if you are in the lives of these women, then you can say that. I think you wanted to sell a fucking book.
Well, yes, okay, yes, but yes, he wants to sell a book, but the concept was advice he would give his daughter. So his concept was, this is things I would tell my daughter, and yes, I'm going to sell it for every other woman out there who may not have a dad like Steve Harvey to tell them what they need to know.
That sounds like a convenient answer, and it might be true. I don't know. Like, let's just say it is. But I think that it makes sense for Steve Harvey, like even if he didn't have daughters, it makes sense for him to write a book with women readers in mind, because it's mostly women who watch Steve Harvey. I mean, I don't think I know any man who's like a big fan of Steve Harvey.
No, you're right. I'm sure he does have a huge women audience. You have the player, the mama's boy, the dreamer, the divorced, the recently divorced guy or going through a divorce. You have the long-term relationship that's not committed versus, with the woman who wants to be married. You have the woman who has, high standards, quote unquote, the corporate CEO woman who wants her man to have everything she has.
Mm-hmm.
You have the single mom. Megan Good's character, she was just kind of like a mess. She felt like she was just a mess. She didn't know what to do.
I mean, I definitely felt like it was Dominique and Zeke's film, because I knew the most about them. Yes. Everyone else felt kind of flat. I mean,
well, you had the married, so Gary Owen, he played like the married friend, so he didn't really have.
And we can get more into him and the Jeremy character, because I don't even know why they were there. I'm just so make it a black film. Let it be a black film. Why did we have to have these two white guys here? I'm sure Gary Owens probably hang out with mostly
black people anyway.
I'm sure. But like the character that you were playing, does this person typically hang? I'm just like,
a married man with all single friends.
Let it be all on black. Like, let it be.
Or maybe I wish they would have explained how they became friends.
Yeah.
Like, are they childhood friends? Because there's this is a large, five or six men.
Like, I guess because
do they work together?
The thing that took the front seat was the book. Kind of like, I know more about the book than I do the people, and I would have rather know more. Like, I know Dominique is a chef, or he wants to be a chef.
He had a bunch of different jobs he was trying out.
Yeah, I know that Zeke, I don't necessarily know how he maintains his money, but I know that he's a musician, and that's just so interesting to me. And I'm like, but other than like, I don't even remember what Maya did for a living.
No, I don't either.
I know that Gabrielle Union's character is in real
She's
estate.
Real estate, yeah.
Taraji P. Henson, sales. I don't know.
Corporate, something
a corporate job. Like, but what did Regina Hall's character do?
She didn't really say. They just focused on her being a mom.
Notice how, like, and I'm not saying that a mom isn't like a large part of somebody's identity, nor am I saying like the job isn't, but I'm just saying like everyone else just kind of felt like really quick. Nothing felt fleshed out to me. I feel
these
like
are definitely stereotypes, because even with Terrence J, him being the mama's boy, like we don't know where he worked either. He was just the mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Could you relate to anybody?
I didn't know any of them.
Or I guess the types. It was very surface level characterization of people.
Yeah.
Even with the Jeremy character, like, okay, he's been with Gabrielle Union for 9 years, but they're not married. Why?
Yeah.
Is it just because he's childish, because he likes to play with toys and video games? Like, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Even with Terrence J, like, why do you live with your mom?
Because he seems like he's a man of resources. Like it seems like he doesn't have to live with his mother.
Do you have any dating or relationship rules?
Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna do this on the first date, not gonna do that, but if I want to, I'm gonna do it.
How do you feel about this 90-day rule? A woman should not give up her goods until 90 days. And he compared it to when he had a job, how he didn't get benefits till after 90 days. And so if a woman is with a man, I guess the man is her job, and she shouldn't give her man benefits until after 90 days. I didn't know men were a job, so that was news to me.
I mean, did it work?
Not really.
The number feels arbitrary to me. Why not 120 days?
Well, because he said at the job, you get your benefits after 90 days.
Well, I've worked jobs, you get the benefits the day you start working.
The day of. Me too.
The jobs I had, it was 30 days. I've had jobs where there were no benefits. I mean, I get I'm not trying to be willfully obtuse here.
She was picking the wrong men.
Exactly. What are we doing
it had nothing
here?
to do with sex. She was just picking the wrong men.
Hello? What are we not paying attention to as it relates to those guys? What did you want from Chris Brown's character? And did you make that clear to him? What do you want from Zeke?
I can understand her character as being the type of person who finds himself dating the same type of person, and you're trying to figure out, okay, why do I have these same issues? Maybe it's me. That's when you start thinking, what am I doing right or wrong? But again,
other than the 90 days, what did she change about herself?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I'm thinking she's just picking the wrong guys.
Yeah.
All of the women were asking the men on their first date a series of questions, like, what are your long-term goals, short-term goals? Do you think there are important questions you need to ask on the first date? Should you be asking about long-term goals and short-term goals and
I don't know about all of that, but from my experience, are you married?
True.
Are you in a monogamous relationship right now? Is there anyone who would be upset if they found out that you were on a date with me?
That's the question. Like, are you single? One, but is there someone who thinks you're not single?
Let me know. Hopefully I've gotten that out of the way before we even went on a date.
Yeah.
Hopefully before I even waste my time going to that MAC counter, going to Sephora, trying to get this new Fenty, trying to see my summer shade, trying to figure out how to put on these fake lashes. Hopefully I already know that you are not married. Hopefully I ran your name through a system and no marriage license has come up. Maybe it is common for groups of friends to want the same things. Is everyone in a position in their life right now where they want a serious monogamous relationship. Like maybe some folks just need to date. Maybe Jeremy just needs to be alone.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't think that, to me, it felt like everybody having the same goal.
Everybody wanting that happily ever after,
like,
getting married, and
that just felt a little like it's kind of unrealistic.
So Zeke, he was the playboy in the movie. He wasn't trying to settle down. But then towards the end, he realized he wanted to settle down. We have
when he was dating Maya, he was only dating her though, right?
Yeah, we didn't see him with any other woman.
And is that a failure on the writing, or do you think that was done on purpose? Like saying he was never really a player. He was always into her.
Yeah, they called him the player type, but it just seemed like he's just was dating. Yeah. He was never married.
Nothing ever felt problematic until he ran into Kelly Rowland's character and was spitting all that misogyny, like trying to make someone chase you by putting them down, saying, oh, you usually have a glow about you and you look different. Something is impacting your physical appearance. And I mean, I have heard men on the internet say things like, throw a couple of digs her way. Did you work that out? I never saw him work that out, as opposed to like, because he was always dating one person. He was always just dating Maya.
Taraji, she was the corporate CEO type. If she makes six figures, she wants her man to make six figures. Whatever she has, her man should have. Dominic, he's doing valet.
Dominic felt like the voice of reason. So when he called her masculine, because I think that was a thread with her character, right?
I guess the Steve Harvey quote was like, oh, you don't need a man if you are the man, something like that.
So tell me, what is it about her that made her a man?
These are not my thoughts or opinions.
I was huffing and puffing through this whole shit.
It's a very old school idea of that a man is supposed to be the provider. And I hate this idea that, if a woman is making more money or even the same amount of money, like in order for a man to feel like a man, he needs to, I guess, act like he's paying the bills.
That's fucking ridiculous. Like, and even like, because there was nothing childish about Dominique. Why am I calling him Dominique?
Dominic.
There was nothing childish.
The only thing is I kind of agree with is that he was a little bit flighty in the beginning with his career choice. And I guess it's not kind of fair because people change careers all the time.
Absolutely.
But I kind of got the impression that he never stuck with something long enough to see how far he could go with it.
True.
So it seemed like he was just moving around and not giving things a good enough try to say, you know what, I really tried and this isn't it. But he seemed like he really liked the culinary thing. Yeah. So, and he was good at that. And so that kind of throughout the movie, that was what he was pursuing. And he ended up doing well. He got the food truck and had a grand opening at the end. So that was a good ending for him.
Yeah, if he was like a trust fund kid, we wouldn't look at that as such a bad thing. His career is tied to his financial well-being, so he needs to figure something out. But again, like, he's not able to provide for Taraji's character. These rules that are set in this book feel dangerous for people who identify as men and women alike.
True.
When there is a significant jump in tax brackets, I think that is a fair conversation to have. Hey, can you handle this? When we go out to dinner with my boss and he, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we go to the same restaurant as my colleagues and they see me picking up the tab, are you going to be okay with that?
I was thinking in terms of like housing, like if you end up living together, if we live in a house that I can afford, like, can you pitch in for anything?
How we gonna do? Like, maybe you take care of the utilities, or maybe you don't take care of anything.
True.
Maybe I get the house and all the bills for a little bit.
I feel like him knowing how to cook was good enough for me.
Child, please. And I hope you can clean. Like, just
exactly.
When I get home, have it ready. And that's it.
Kevin Hart's character was going through a divorce, but at the end, he has a change of heart. He went back to his wife. I guess he wasn't having fun single with all his friends having these relationship issues.
When he's in the bathroom, why this epiphany all of a sudden? What has happened to you? What has happened that has caused this change? Did you see the sequel?
So Michael and Candace, they get married. They get married in Vegas, and everybody goes to Vegas for their wedding.
And so, what's the major plot? Like, what?
It's just a fun, just being in Vegas and just weird stuff happen. Just funny. This movie to me is just about antics, and everyone is crazy and drunk, and they all have crazy separate nights. And it's like, can we make it to the wedding on time? It's like, oh shoot, we have to get married in the morning. How is this gonna go? It's that type of movie. It's not a big storyline plot. So what do we learn from this movie? Do you think dating advice is necessary? Do people need advice?
Really? I know I need advice, but I think also it's just like, girl, just go to therapy.
So you think it's more like unpacking your personal,
like whatever your shit is,
or hiccups.
Like, go fix your shit. What is some of the best dating advice that you've gotten?
None. I don't like taking advice. I don't think it's necessary.
You don't think there's anything about you that you might need to change?
No. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I just don't think advice. I don't think other people can give you advice. You attract people based on where you are in life, and I guess your needs and your wants. And so you kind of attract your state of mind. So that was our conversation on Think Like a Man. Do y'all think we can do a part 2? Do you think Ashley will sit and watch Think Like a Man part 2? Ashley, let me know. The movie is not that bad. Come on, girl. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram at Curry Gumbo. Bye.